Just waiting for everyone to join me. Morning. Welcome. I'm just starting. Morning, everyone. Welcome. Morning. Welcome, everyone. Nice to have you here. If you just dropped by and you're thinking, "Oh no," don't worry. Don't worry. You don't have to stay. But if you do stay, it's lovely. Morning, Abby. Morning. Can't read your name. Naju 86. Morning, Lynn. How are you feeling this morning? How are you doing? Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my live this lovely Friday. Bit of a grey day, bit of a strange day, isn't it? Morning. Welcome. I'm just sort of treading water here whilst everyone joins us. I'm Sarah. Ah, Nadine. So lovely to see you. Morning, San. Yeah, in purple today. Morning. Oh, my eyes are not very good this morning. Morning, Jada. Well, thank you. Loads of makeup on today. Glad you're feeling all right, Lynn. Lynn 250, everyone, is one of my moderators who keeps this a lovely safe place. So thank you, Lynn, for being here. Lynn is here every live. Just so kind of you, Lynn, to give up your time. Naju, you're not okay. You need therapy. Oh, someone to listen and never stop me. Hopefully, welcome here. Welcome here. I hope that this community is a safe space for you and is helpful for you. Morning, Alicia. So lovely to see you. Welcome, my lovely. I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, so Jada, you're just seeing what's going on in TikTok. So I'm Sarah. I'm a therapist, and every Friday and Monday we talk about anxiety, mental well-being, being stuck. We use practical techniques sometimes. But today is just a gentle question and answer, just trying to help as many people as I can. So yeah, lovely to have you here, Alicia. Oh gosh, my eyes are terrible today. I've got big text on and I still can't see. GBTY90. I do work one-to-one, yeah. Hey, Julie Reese Diva from California. Welcome. It's so nice. Nice to see you. Thank you for getting up early. Oh, Leah, let me make a note of your question. So Leah Kelly says, flying today, any tips because you're anxious? Let me write that down and I'll come back to you. So, let's have a look. And Foxy1234. Don't know why the Queen's death gave me so much anxiety. It's made me spiral again. So let me make a note of that, because I don't think you'll be alone on that. It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's a bit of a weird feeling this morning, waking up, and it's one of those things. You wake up and you think, oh, the Queen passed away yesterday. It's a strange feeling. So I've made a note of that as well, and perhaps we can talk about that and answer that thought as well. Naju, looking for where to start, looking for therapy. So I'll answer that as well. I've made a note of that, Naju. So with all of these questions, if you have just sort of popped by and found me and thought, oh gosh, I'm going to ask a question, and then you're thinking, oh blimey, I can't wait, I've got to go and do something, then just so you know, I always upload all of these lives to my YouTube channel. So if you have a look in my profile, there's a link to all sorts of free resources, but right at the top in that link is my YouTube. So if you go in there, you can subscribe, or you can just if you know where to find me, if you follow me, for example, then you'll always have access to my profile, or you can always search for the hashtag. So hashtag Sarah Eris and then a purple heart. So you can use all those things, but I will answer these questions. So let's have a look. I'm just welcoming everyone here. It's so nice to have you here. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Pittsburgh girl, P-Bird girl. Yeah, it's... Oh, morning, Kezia. It's lovely to have you here. So, P-Bird girl. Yeah, lovely to have you here too. It's a strange one, isn't it? I think it's a sad day when anyone passes away. And I think that we can acknowledge that, can't we? That, whether you're a royalist, whether you're neutral, whether you're a Republican, whatever your feelings are, we can all understand that people feel grief. We might feel our own grief. It's just a change in the way of the world, isn't it? So, yeah, maybe I'll talk about that a bit later. I did a post earlier on this morning, so let me have a look. So my name, let me introduce myself to you, and then I'll get on and answer some questions for you. So my name is Sarah. I'm a QCH therapist, which is Quest Cognitive Hypnotherapy. I work mainly with people who are suffering from anxiety, but it can be all sorts of things like feeling a bit stuck, feeling angry, feeling depressed, feeling afraid, all sorts of different things. And I work based in Hertfordshire, but I work online with people from all over the world. And every Friday and Monday, more or less, I do a live here on TikTok. Fridays it's 10 o'clock in the morning, UK time, and on Mondays it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time. So that's hopefully means that everyone can catch the live if they want to. But I realise that, not everyone can, so I also upload them to my YouTube channel, which is reachable through my profile. There's a link there. It takes you to all sorts of free resources. So do go and have a little delve at some point. If you follow me, then that would be wonderful, and you'll be able to find me whenever you're looking for free resources, when you're looking for help on a particular issue with mental health. I have all sorts of categories of videos that I've talked about, practical techniques, breath techniques, information on anxiety, all sorts of different things. So have a think about that. This is a really safe space. I've really worked hard to try and make this a really safe, caring, kind community, and as part of that, I have a really great team of moderators. These are amazing people who, out of the goodness and the kindness of their hearts, have given up their time to be on the lives and to keep it a safe space. So I have Lynn 250, I have Jasmine, I have Vicky Hodson, I have Sanshin and Vicky Handlebars, and they make sure that if anyone is rude or offensive, if anyone just says things that are not kind, and we all know what kindness looks like, there's just zero tolerance. It's mute, block, and they're gone. So if you see anyone like that, then the moderators are on it, and they work really hard to create and make this safe space. So what I'm going to do is start with some questions. I answer as many as I possibly can. I'll make a note of 3 at a time. So please don't sort of spam the comments by saying your comment again and again and again. I'll just get through what I can as quickly as I can and as thoroughly as I can. So, okay. So Leah Kelly, you were talking about you've got to take a flight soon, and you're feeling really anxious about that. So when we're anxious or afraid of something in particular, like a flight, then it's usually happened because of something that's happened to us in the past. Probably a difficult experience that we've been through, or maybe something that we've been aware of unconsciously. So even when you were little, you might have watched a film, you might have heard people talking about flying. So that's the thing that will have started it. It will have been there for a specific reason. And it doesn't matter how rationally you know that flying is the safest form of travel. Doesn't matter, because your gut has begun to believe, because of experience, that it's not safe and that it's a threat, a potential threat to you. So what we need to do is, if you have time, then you can go and work with a therapist to look at and reframe that original event so that it takes away its intensity, takes away its meaning, and it can remove that completely. So if you have time in the future, it's well worth going to see a therapist. In my profile, there is, it just happens to be a therapist finder for my particular brand of therapy, but there are all sorts of therapist finders. There's a hypnotherapy directory, there's a counsellor's directory, there's all sorts of places, so you can have a look for that. But practical ways of helping you. Firstly, be curious about what is it about flying that is difficult. Is it the whole thing, or is it specific parts? Look at the times when you're okay. Are you okay in the lead up? Are you okay in the takeoff? Or is the takeoff really difficult? Are you okay in the flight? But if there's turbulence, for example, that's the thing that really does you in. Or are you okay for all of it, but the landing really scares you? So have a look and try and pinpoint the good stuff. Look for the times where, okay, I'm going to be all right for all of that amount of time. And it's this bit that's going to be really difficult. So on my page, there are lots and lots of videos about practical coping techniques and breath techniques. The pinned post that I have where I do this, which is the one with me wearing a grey jumper, can be really helpful with this, because it brings you to the moment, it helps divert your mind, and it sends physical signals to help the level of stress hormones in your body to come right down to a much lower place. Okay, so that's a really helpful thing to use. Breathing, but when we are aware that there's threat or potential threat, our body is triggered into fight or flight, and that is anxiety, and that is the sense of having perhaps a panic attack or an anxiety attack. It's all the same, it's just different levels of intensity. So fight or flight is an immediate chemical response. You get an outpouring of adrenaline and cortisol, which makes your heart beat faster, which changes your breathing. It changes the flow of your blood, because what we want is for the blood to go to our big muscles so that we run away, or we can fight. And sometimes we even it changes our blood pressure and so on, so that we go into freeze or flop. So if we can reduce the level of stress hormones by doing the practical physical techniques that send the message that we're okay, then that can be really helpful. So breathing, slow, steady, long out breath. Don't worry about your in breath. You're going to breathe in no matter what. When we're anxious, our breathing is like, it's up here, and we might even hold our breath, which can make us feel sick, can make us feel faint, all of those things. So long, slow, steady. Perhaps do a body scan so that you're trying consciously to keep your muscles nice and soft, being in the moment as much as you can. And being curious about not only the process of what you're feeling and what it is you're scared of, or what it is that you're okay with, but understanding this is a temporary period of time. So if for example, the takeoff is your thing, then to know that it's only 30 seconds that you need to get through, and then everything will start to be okay. Or if it's just the landing, the same. It's only 30 seconds, and then once you get into the airport again, you can start your trip, whatever it is. So I hope that helps a little bit, Leah. Good luck. You'll be okay, but do have a look at maybe getting some sort of longer term therapy that can help you to get rid of that first event. Not get rid of it, but reframe it. I hope that helps a bit. So how are we all doing? That's one question that I've answered. I've got another couple here that I've written down. How are you all feeling today? I'm Sarah. Welcome to this live. I am a therapist, and I'm just answering Q&As as much as I possibly can. What I'm doing is working through 3, then I'll look for some more, work through 3, and so on. So you're really welcome, and I do as much as I can, as quickly as I can. So the next one is from Foxy1234, and you said that the Queen's death has made you feel really anxious, and you feel a little bit unsettled by how you're feeling. And I think that's completely understandable and natural and normal. This happens often when a public passes away, if something terrible happens. For example, if you look back at when Princess Diana died, when you think of JFK, Martin Luther King, when people have been assassinated, when someone like Nelson Mandela died, when someone who has been in our lives in a massive way passes away and are no longer there, that sense of stability that they have brought with them goes with them. And we can grieve that person even though we've never met them. So if you're feeling that sense of grief today, then that's okay. It doesn't matter that you might never have met the Queen. She was always there. She's been here for 96 years. And for some people, that will be a huge thing. You might be a real royalist. You might be someone who absolutely loves the royal family. Or you might be in the middle. You might think, well, I can see that it's sad, but it doesn't really affect me. Or you can be the other side and think, well, why are people feeling like this? They didn't know her. That you can have quite strong political views from that other end of the scale. But I think what's really important is that we're kind to ourselves, and also that we're kind to the people around us, because we all have different journeys through life. We all have different thoughts about things, different beliefs, different values. And this period of mourning that is going to be happening over the next little while is a really important period, because it means that we can all come together as community. So you can be with your tribe of people and talk about how you feel, whilst respecting that other people might not feel the same way. So it's, I can see comments here, people saying, Tia saying that you can feel the energy around you. Other people saying that she's been, so Lou Cookies saying, you're not a royalist, but you cried when you heard the news because she's been a pillar your whole life. And user 101 saying, I'm just happy to know she's resting and at peace. So that all of those are so valid, such valid thoughts and comments, and it's really important that we process and that we talk about this, and we do what we need to do to help each other and to help ourselves, and that sense of uncertainty is very natural, because she has always been here, hasn't she? Christmas Day, whether you watched the speech or you didn't watch the speech, then the Queen was always there giving the Christmas Day speech. She was there, you'd see her on the news wearing, beautiful coloured coats and hats and handbags that always matched, the sort of funny sense of humour. We'll all have memories, and those have created a framework of certainty. She was one of those things, like almost a sort of state grandma that we all had, who was always just this sort of gentle presence. And when that's taken away from us, it creates a discord, a sense of, that was always there, and what's going to happen now? So take your time, feel what you need to feel, help others with what they're feeling, and be respectful of what anyone is feeling, I would say. And if you need to cry, cry. If you don't need to cry, then don't cry. It's just that sense of, okay, let's process this. It's okay to feel, and then we'll all come out the other side. So I think it's important to remember the good things, and as user 101 says, just have that sense of, she was 96, and I saw a little video of a little 5-year-old who was saying, oh mummy, isn't that lovely that she's with her husband now? And so there is that sense of that, isn't it, that if you have that belief that there's a heaven, or that there's a life after this life, then perhaps that's something that can give comfort. I don't know, but you take care of yourself. And for all of you out there who are feeling a bit wobbly today over the coming days, then that's okay. Just look after yourself. Let's have a look at some of these comments. Did you see that video, Trish? Well, morning, Trish. It's lovely to see you. It's so nice. Yeah, it was very sweet, wasn't it, that little boy? I thought it was a lovely thought. Yeah, and Tia, yeah, exactly. So Tia says it triggered your sense of separation anxiety and start having thoughts, well, if she can die, so can my people. And so that's completely natural, isn't it? Because we have something called mirror neurons in our brains, which we look at something like this and we have that sense of, oh, that's going on. What if that happens in my life? I know I can understand how, the royal family are feeling, and so I sense that, I feel it, I mirror that feeling. So yeah, it's important to talk. It's important to share how you're feeling with the people around you. Let's have a look. Oh, Vicky, that's so nice. You're saying that you could listen to me for hours. Oh, and I make you feel that everything's going to be fine. That's so kind of you. That's so kind of you. Thank you very much. I have to say I've been a bit I know you shouldn't, I know this shouldn't matter. This is completely off the whole topic, and it's sort of me and my worries. But I've noticed recently, I don't know what's going on with TikTok, but my views are really down and things, and I'm thinking, oh, am I doing something wrong? And then I thought, you know what? I think as when I started off in therapy, I had that fear of, oh, what if I can't help people? What if I'm doing something wrong? What if I make a mistake? And then I came to the conclusion that even if I only help one person, then that's enough, to be able to help. If I've helped you in any way, if you find these lives, for example, soothing, and if I've answered one question on these lives, then that's the thing that really matters. But I think it's a reflection, isn't it, of the uncertainty of these times, is that I think we all feel uncertain at times. So, gosh, righty ho. So let me answer your question, Naju. So Naju's you're going through a difficult time at the moment, and you're saying you don't really know where to even start with therapy. Now, I did a live a little while ago. If you have a look on my YouTube channel, there's a whole live that I did as part of a TikTok sort of campaign about where to find a therapist, where to go. So if you have a look on my YouTube, there's lots of information on that. And also on my blog, which is on my website, which is, you can reach again through the link in my profile, I've written a blog about how to find a therapist, where to start. But basically, there's various things you can do. If you're in the UK, then you can try and go and see your doctor. I know it's difficult at the moment in the UK to see a doctor, but don't give up, because you can get to see one. So it just takes time. So you could do that. You can go and see a doctor and ask about therapy through them. You can also Google free therapy. There are lots of organisations that actually give free therapy. I don't know what they're like. I can't recommend any necessarily, but I think that is, if money is an issue, that's something that you could look at and have a search on. Also, if you have something specific going on with you, then you can look for charities. If you Google charities for that particular thing, then lots of charities have amazing resources and also helplines. Places like Mental Health Matters, Mind UK, Anxiety UK. There are all sorts of resources online that can help you. Plus, also, there are directories where you can find therapists. So for me, there's a QCHBA therapist finder, which is reachable through my profile, where you can find lots and lots of therapists trained in the same modality as me. Personally, at the moment, I've had to close my waiting list, unfortunately, because I'm just getting too long, and I want to be able to work through the people that I'm seeing and work through my waiting list a little bit. But I have lots of colleagues who are really excellent at what they do. There's also the counselling directory. If you're looking perhaps for a counsellor, the BACP. There's a hypnotherapy directory if you're looking for a hypnotherapist. So there's lots of ways, and always talk to people. Don't just go with someone because they've got a fancy, lovely website. always contact, a few different therapists and talk to them and ask them questions about, how does it work? What do you charge? How often would you see me? Do you have experience in this? All of that sort of thing. There are lots of questions to ask, things that are important to you. And don't ever go with someone who wants you to make a quick decision here and now. If they're saying, well, you have to let me know now, otherwise you won't have a space, walk away from them. Equally, if they are all about the money, obviously money is important, it's important you to discuss it, but walk away from anyone who's like saying, oh, you have to sign up for a package of deals, all of that kind of stuff. It's really important with therapy that you work with someone who you click with, that you feel comfortable with, and that you can trust. So I hope that's a good starting point, Najou, and look after yourself, because you will find a way through. This is a temporary thing that you're going through. So I hope that helps a little bit. Let me have a little look at the comments. Eileen, it's so lovely to have you here. I can't believe it. I'm so grateful. I have followers that follow me from all over the world, which absolutely stuns and amazes me. Eileen follows me from Tennessee. Peaburg girl, I'm thinking you're from Pittsburgh, but I might be wrong. Julie Reese-Devo, you're from California. And the people like Cassie from Ireland, people from all over. San, I know that you're from, oh my goodness, I'm hoping I'm getting this right, but from the Netherlands, I think. I know it's from Europe. So I'm so grateful for all of your support, that you're getting up early and coming to see me and being here. Paula, it's so nice to see you. Paula Roberts, thank you for being here. I so appreciate you coming along and being here. Andrea, welcome. Language for you, you're from Poland. Oh, San, you are from Netherlands, so that's brilliant. Gosh, that's so cool. So Maria Isabel, you're from Kinsale in Ireland. Tracy, welcome. It's nice to see you too. It's so lovely for me to see familiar faces who come along to all of these lives, who come and comment on my videos, and who are such a support to me. Thank you so much. Let me have a look here. I'm going to just have a look at some more questions that I can answer. Language for you, my lives are... okay, Peace World 123. I can see your post. So how to cope with a shaky, unclear voice during a speech. Okay, let me do that. I'll make a note of it. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn, for posting it. Peace World 123 or 23, just 23. How to cope with a shaky voice. Okay. In a speech. Okay, I will come to you. Thank you for pinning that post, Lynn. Let's have a look. Any more? Let me just see. Put my glasses on. So Charles, how long is temporarily? Because mine has been this for 8 months now. Okay, so temporarily is like knowing that it will pass eventually. So it can be for a long time, it can be for months, it could even be for longer than that, but it's something that if you work through it, if you have the right help, then it absolutely can pass. So what I'm saying, that the mental health that we go through, the mental issues that we go through, the stuff that I deal with, which is, things like anxiety, depression, fears, those are temporary, they're there for a reason. If you have other things, perhaps stuff for like psychosis, that is beyond my realm of experience and training, so it wouldn't be right for me to comment on those sort of things. So let me have a look. This is a good question. Oh, even with my glasses on. Cool Auntie, what a great name. So Cool Auntie, you're saying best way to help a child calm down. Child calm down, panic attack. I'm writing these down so that I can go through them quickly rather than spending too long sort of waffling on. So now, San, you've asked a really good question here about subscription, and I have been thinking about this. I'm going to answer your question first. I will come back to you, I promise you. Peace World 23 and Cool Auntie. San asked about subscription. Now, subscription is something that TikTok has introduced, and that there's a thing that you can click on, and it's $4.99 a month. I think $4.99 a month, and for me personally, I kind of set it up and I thought, no, I'm not going to do it because oh my goodness. Oh, Trish, right, stop. Don't subscribe anyone right now. Because, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, Trish, you're so lovely. Oh, okay. So my thoughts on subscription are that I don't want anyone to have to be paying to come and see me. No, don't apologise, Trish, at all. I'm so grateful. But what I was wanting was that I don't want you to have to pay. You know, it's hard enough at the moment without having to pay. And so my thought was, like, if people appreciated what I was doing, I actually have on my profile a link to a charity which is Calm, which is Campaign Against Living Miserably, which is a suicide prevention charity. And I was thinking yesterday, rather than the subscription, what I might do is ask, if you really felt like you wanted to help in some way, then maybe to make a little tiny donation, just a small donation to Calm, because then that's helping people who are in need. If that's if I think, does that make sense to you all? I kind of feel like that's a kinder thing for me to do, rather than, because I don't really know what I would do as a subscription service. It's quite difficult. I was talking to them at TikTok. That's a brilliant idea, Trish. So maybe maybe unsubscribe, and maybe they'll give you a refund. And if they don't, then the money that I get, because I think like it's $4.99 a month, and I get like two of that, or something like that. So if that comes through to me, what I'll do is I'll make a donation to Calm on your behalf. So if you cancel your subscription, so you don't have to be paying, because I want to give this for free. I don't want you to have to pay for it. And then I will make a donation to Calm, all right? So that's my thoughts. So I'm going to remove the subscription thing, because I was only thinking about this yesterday and no one had subscribed, and I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to take it away, but I hadn't yet. So that's what I'm going to do. So I hope that helps a little bit. So thank you, San, for the sort of mentioning the subscription. Thank you, Trish, for subscribing. And it's kind of, yeah, I hope you think that that's a good idea. So it's just in my profile, there's CALM, Campaign Against Living Miserably, and it's a charity in the UK that does a lot of work, particularly for young men, but it's a suicide prevention charity. So, okay. Thank you, though, Trish, you're so lovely. The next, okay, Peace World 23. I want to answer your question here. So, you asked me how to cope with a shaky voice and unclear speech when you're doing, when you're doing a speech. Okay. So, what I would say to that is that it's completely normal to feel a bit anxious when you're giving a speech, but if it's affecting you to the extent that, you know, your voice is shaky and that it's unclear, then there's some things that you can do. Breath techniques are really useful. You know, if you wanted to, you could perhaps go and find someone and talk to someone about how you're feeling, but look at where this has come from, because this will have come from somewhere. All of these things, anxiety is always there for a reason. The old thinking was that, you know, anxiety, depression, it was all about chemical imbalance. The new research shows actually that these things are there for a reason. So there will have been a significant emotional event in your life, or a series of them, that will be making you think that there is threat. When you're stood up or sat down on a Zoom to deliver a speech, you're getting a release of adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart starts to beat more quickly, your breathing changes. We tend to be sort of rushing, trying to get, thinking, well, if I rush this through, then it'll all be over and I can just get out. Maybe that, I don't know if that's how you're feeling. So what can you do about it? So work to lower your stress levels generally. Self-care, doing techniques that send the message to your nervous system that you're okay, that you're safe. And there's lots of those on my page. If you look at the bottom, there's lots of different categories, and there's loads of videos that are categorized around breath techniques, around anxiety info, around practical techniques. So do have a look at those. When you are moving, when you're sort of about to do a speech, building up to it, to just be aware of your muscles being soft. Something that I use is pretending I've got, if I'm standing up, imagining I've got shopping bags in my hands. So I'm standing there, and it's like, your arms are by your side and your hands are loose, but you're imagining that you're holding something in them and they're quite heavy. Also thinking about how are you standing. So maybe standing with weight on one foot, being aware of softening your muscles from head to toe, being aware of slow, steady out breaths. And also when you're speaking, to speak slowly, to leave pauses, and to understand that you're giving a gift to your audience. And that there'll be some people there who are really interested, there'll be some people there who aren't bothered, there'll be some people there who have to be there, there'll be people who look like they're interested, there'll be people who look like they're bored, but they're probably just thinking about how am I going to pay my gas bill, and what am I having for dinner tonight, So that sense of making it not so much about you, but about be curious about the people in front of you, looking for the faces, the friendly faces, and giving them your attention, making sort of eye-to-eye contact every now and again, but then a lot of the time just looking above their heads so they don't know, but occasionally zoning in on people who look friendly, smiling, pausing, speaking slowly. So I hope that helps a little bit. I hope that's all right. Good luck. I hope that's helpful. So language for you, that's a very good point. I should have said that. Before my public speech, I stand in a pose of the winner with hands up for a minute. It helps. Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that can be helpful. So maybe if you go into a loo. Oh, thank you. That lovely heart. That's so gorgeous. Thank you so much. It's one of those things that power poses, they're called, can be really helpful. So it's my pleasure. Peace World 2-3. So if you give yourself power poses. So as language for you was saying, if you go and you might go like this, like whoa. You look ridiculous. That's why I do it in the loo, maybe. So that you could be so if you think about when you're feeling nervous, anxious, broken down, all of those awful things, you tend to be head down, looking down, shoulders forward, in a protective pose. So you'd be like this, shoulders up maybe, and that kind of thing. So if you think, okay, I'm going to pretend for this amount of time that I'm doing this speech, that I'm not actually me. I'm going to be this version of me who's confident, or I'm going to be a version of someone I've seen doing a speech. So it can be really useful to watch TED Talks, look at people like Brené Brown and the way she delivers a TED Talk, They're so relaxed. They're just like, I'm just talking to one other person. You're my friend. Imagine that's your best mate out there that you're talking to. So the power poses are things like shoulders back, head up, look up, breathe, be open in your stance, have your chest open. So, and it'll be over. Like, all you have to do is, it'll be over before you know it. And the more you do it, the better you'll be at it. So, okay, I hope that helps a little bit. Thank you so much to all of you who are here. I'm Sarah. I'm a therapist. I work seeing people all over the world on Zoom, one-to-one, and also sometimes I occasionally see people face-to-face in the therapy room, but most of my clients are online. Currently, I'm not taking on anyone new because I have quite a long waiting list and I'm just working my way through that. But I have lots of colleagues who do similar therapy to me, and you can see the therapist finder to find them through my profile. I always record these. It will be on YouTube either later on today or tomorrow. So do have a look there if you can only catch a little bit of this. And I'll write down the things that I've covered question-wise. Yeah, language for you. You usually do your power poses in the toilet as well. Yes. So, oh, Nadine, was that for you that you did that? I love that. Thank you so much. You're so kind. So, cool auntie, your question was about how can you help a child calm down after a panic attack? So such a good question, and actually it's something that can be really useful for anyone, whether they're a child or an adult. So if you have someone that you know, or if it's you yourself who has panic attacks, then communication is always really useful before the event. So for people to know, okay. So if you have panic attacks, or if someone's had a panic attack and it's over, and you could say to them, okay, if is a powerful word, don't assume it's going to happen again, because it might not. If it was to happen again, what would be helpful for you? Because we want to put the power into the hands of the person that's experienced the panic attack. So if it was to happen again, what would really help you? What can I do to help you? So that's a really good starting point before anything has happened at all. So if you're the person who's experiencing it and you know that you have these, then that's a really great thing, is to tell people that you trust, or people who you know might be there, this might happen, and what would be really helpful to me is this. So hopefully that is a good starting point, so people know. And it's when you're helping someone, if you don't know, so if it's just a child at school, for example, or a child or a person that you just think, oh my goodness, they're having a panic attack, stay calm. It is something that will pass. They're not going to die. Nothing terrible is going to be happening. It will feel like that to them potentially. And sometimes it's important to understand that panic attacks can be very, they can be the whole, as you might imagine, someone panicking and upset and very distressed, but it also can be very quiet. Someone can have symptoms and be going through a panic attack, and you might not even know that that's what they're going through. So that's important to bear in mind as well. So for them to know that you're there, no matter what type of panic attack they're experiencing, for you to say, I'm here, you're safe, and I'm going to be here for you. So just that reassuring, calm, maybe slightly lower voice. When we're panicking, like if we're trying to help someone, you might be finding yourself going, oh, someone. Okay, that is understandable, but it's not that helpful. So even if you're feeling a bit, oh, blimey, I don't know what I'm going to do, it's better to do something to do nothing. So reassurance, that steady, it's okay, I'm here with you, it's going to be all right, just take your time. And maybe to breathe with the person, to just say, if you can, just be with me. Maybe if they feel comfortable, say, would it be okay if I held your hand? Would it be okay maybe if I put my hand on your arm as a reassurance? They might not want that, so be aware of that. It's their choice, and ask permission. But also that sense of breathing with them can be helpful. So just your steady, slow breathing. And if you just say, Okay, just breathe with me. So breathe in. So you can use your arm. I did a training once, and they called this the one-armed seagull. And it was like, it's a visual thing because their brain is not working very well. So it's like slow, steady, slow, steady. Just up and down, in and out. And just this gentle reassurance. And so that sense of them understanding, because what we want them to know is to know that the environment is safe for them. So that reassurance, slow, steady breathing, being with them, talking if you need to talk, but not talking too much, just occasionally listening, watching, reassuring. That's what's really important. And then when it's over, to just say you did really well. And even when they're in it, to be saying you're doing so well, it's okay. Just keep going. You're going to get through this. It's all right. It's okay. Keep going. Just slow everything down. And as Language for You says, it doesn't have to take long. Doesn't have to take long, because what your nervous system is looking for is looking and scanning the environment to understand that it's safe again, because it might have been sending signals and signals and signals saying this environment is not safe, this environment is not safe, and perhaps you've been pushing yourself and not taking any note of those signals because you're thinking I need to do this thing, and then it just goes too much, bang, in a panic attack. So I hope that helps a little bit. There's lots of videos on my site which children can be really helpful for children. So tapping is really helpful for children, visualization, breath techniques. There's a triangle breathing technique which can be really helpful for children, so that they can be there and you can be going, oh, let's do a triangle. Like, we breathe in, out, in, out, and so on. So hope that helps. Rose Gallagher, makeup artist, it's so lovely to see you here. So nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. It's just lovely. It's 11:15, and we have about 15 minutes left. Thank you so much to all of you who are here with us in this lovely community. I'm Sarah, and I'm a therapist. I work online, seeing people from all over the world, but I'm based in Hertfordshire. And I do these lives every Friday, every Monday as well. I do them Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning UK time, and Mondays it's 5 p.m. in the afternoon UK time. If you can't be here for the whole live, or if you just seen a bit and you think, oh, that was quite interesting, then thank you, Nadine, you're so kind, thank you. If you think, oh, I'd like to see this but I haven't got time, have a look at my YouTube channel, which is reachable through my profile, and there it will always be uploaded there. All of my lives, I upload them to YouTube, so you can settle down with a cup of tea or a glass of wine, and just watch it in your own time, and just watch it in bits if you feel like that's what you want. So thank you, Catherine Small. That's very kind of you to say that I have nice energy. Thank you. So let me have a little look. Thank you so much for everyone who's sending likes. Thank you for your kindness in giving gifts. I was talking a little bit earlier, there's a subscription thing. I'm not asking people to subscribe. I'm going to remove that after today. What I am asking is, if you want to, don't feel you have to at all, but there's a link to a charity called Calm on my profile. So please don't subscribe. I'd much rather that any money at all went to a charity that is supportive of suicide prevention and education. So please don't subscribe, but it's really kind of you for even wanting to, and please don't feel you have to give anything at all. This is totally free. In my profile that's reachable through my LinkedIn, there are lots of free resources as well, so do go and have a look at those, particularly on my website, but also on my Quest Hub. There's lots and lots of stuff, so go and have a look there. So let's have a look at this. Niles, I put my glasses on so I can just see. Niles Leywood, mental fatigue. So how do you deal with mental fatigue? So I've made a note of that, and I will be answering that in just a second. Georgina Mary, so you're asking about catastrophizing and thinking that you have a horrible disease. Gosh, that's horrible, isn't it? I feel for you when you have that. Let's see, another one. Oh, I'm so glad that so SMK 2987, as a new nurse, I feel this would be so helpful with my patients. I'm so glad. That's brilliant. For those of you who are joining us this morning and perhaps have are feeling upset or uncertain about the Queen passing away, then we had a little chat about this earlier on. So there might be something there that perhaps if you look at the YouTube video, that's one of the, I think it's the second question that I addressed this morning. So do have a look at that, because that's something that perhaps would be helpful for you to understand how people are feeling. So do be kind to yourself, because it is all over the news. Give yourself a break from that, because after a while it's just repeat, and there's no new information, and it can take you to a place of feeling a bit down. But it's okay to be upset and to be in grief today. But so let's see, one more question as well. Let me see. Tips for exam anxiety. Oh, my eyes are terrible today. I've even got the big text on and I can't see it. So Maya 05, exam anxiety. Okay. Right, let me get on. So Niles Leywood, you were asking about mental fatigue. Do you know, I think it's so important that we're aware of that sense of mental fatigue. And it's really, really important that we bring self-care into our lives. Oh, sorry, I'm just making okay, I just wanted to remind myself of something. So I think when we're full on, when we're working, when we've got our environment is difficult, and I think at the moment the environment is difficult for all of us. We have the cost of living crisis here in the UK. We all have the uncertainty of Ukraine, of Russia, of politics at the moment. There's a lot of uncertainty, and it's very easy to just drive on, and it can be exhausting, both physically and mentally. For me personally, I mean, I can feel that coming on. It's a sense of going into a protective response, because what happens is that when we go into a protective response, because the environment around us is of threat to us, because we are driving through, then the blood flow changes. So it's no longer going as it would normally to our speech and language, our working memory in the left side of our brain. Obviously it's still going to our brain, so it is still going there, but more of it is being diverted to our big muscles, to our heart, so that we can run away, we can fight, and so on. So we can find ourselves feeling mentally exhausted, not being able to think clearly, finding ourselves in a bit of a fog. And I find this myself. I get to the end of a busy week and I feel mentally exhausted. Physically, I could go out for a walk, but in my head, I just feel I need space, I need quiet. So I feel for you, Niles. So what do we do about that? Excuse me. So it's really important that we're aware of it, first of all, and that we're aware of the signs of it coming on, because we don't want to burn out. We don't want to push that beyond the threshold. So self-care is really important. Creating boundaries, thinking about self-management. For me, my boundaries are I do not work at the weekends. And I'm very fortunate that I can do that, because I know that not everyone has that. But it's also... I know that I'm going to remove myself from social media. I'm going to remove myself from looking at my emails, my messages. I'm going to give myself space. For me as an introvert, that means quiet time. It means going for a walk. It means just sitting, being, maybe just something mindless like watching telly, or just like lighting some candles, just being. I think it's going with the flow, going with what you know suits you. If you're an extrovert, then perhaps for you it's more about connecting with people, getting your energy back from being with other people. So have a look at that and think about what actually works for me, what replenishes me, what heals me, because that's really important. So self-care, having a little oasis of something every day in your life, where you do something that you look forward to, you love doing, and you can look back on and think, oh, that was lovely, I really enjoyed that. By doing that, what you're doing is you're giving yourself a boost of the hormones that tell your nervous system it's okay, you're safe, you're in a safe environment, there is no threat, or the threat is reduced. So it's important to have self-care in your day. And I know people say, I haven't got time for self-care. So often clients come and see me and I say to them in the first session, so what do you do for you? What is your self-care regime? And they look at me like I'm mad and go, well, I don't do anything. That's, I haven't got time for that. I've got to look after my family. I've got a job. I get all that, but actually it's essential. Self-care is not selfish at all. It is essential for all of us. And whether that's 5 minutes, 50 minutes, 5 hours, a whole weekend, just having a bit each day. So I would say if you can take at least 15 to 20 minutes a day, even if it just means you go to bed 15 minutes early and you just take time, doing reading, I don't know, just everything. Everyone's different. Relaxation, self-care is different for everyone. So it's about, what do I really like? So connecting with people, connecting with myself, connecting with nature, connecting with exercise, connecting with creativity, connecting with learning, connecting with our animals. All of those things are self-care. So it's, think about it as connection. So I hope that helps a little bit, Niles. You take care of yourself, create those boundaries. It's very, very important. Maggie Cherry, I actually feel really enthused and full of energy after my live, actually. But I do appreciate that. I think this weekend what I'm doing is I'm training all this weekend. I'm delivering training, and I know that I will be. I get back after the whole day of being on all day from sort of 7:30 in the morning till quite late. I get in and I'm absolutely shattered mentally. And then I go again on the Sunday. But so I know then I'll have to be careful. But these I love the live training. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Let me get on to some questions. So Georgina Mary. Oh no, Lynn, you swiped out. You dropped your tablet. I'm glad you're back. And Nadine, yes, you really spoil yourself, do some self-care. It will make a world of difference. Be kind to yourself, everyone. It's my homework for all of you. It's go and do stuff that you love. Well, thank you, Lauren. Oh, my makeup. Yes, thank you. Anyway, I'm waffling. So, Georgina Mary. So your question was about catastrophizing and your thoughts always going to the thought that you might have some horrible disease and going to that place of health anxiety. Now, I'm aware I don't have a massive amount of time, but I have done a whole video about health anxiety. So do have a look on my profile. There is a category about health anxiety where I speak about it in more depth. Health anxiety, I think it's well worth going to see a therapist about this, because the thing with anxiety that is you're in this closed loop, that you've had a significant event that's happened that's made you go into fight or flight, and fight or flight gives you physical symptoms, and the physical symptoms can make you think, oh, there's something wrong with me, even though rationally you might know that there isn't anything wrong with you. But every time you feel a physical symptom, it triggers the anxiety, which causes more physical symptoms. So you're going round and around. So I would look at that video, and I would definitely recommend seeing someone about health anxiety, because it's one of those ones you can absolutely definitely do something to help yourself and to be helped. And it's such a horrible thing to suffer from, that sense of catastrophizing all the time. So yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not going more into that this time, but I hope that my videos help you. And there will be on my YouTube, there will be YouTubes. If you look at the description, there'll be stuff. I will have answered health anxiety questions before, so I hope that's really helpful to you. Lauren, I'm so touched, and I'm also so touched that Rose Gallagher, makeup artist, you're saying that my makeup looks nice. I'm like, oh, you've made my day. Thank you. This is my weak spot. I love makeup and skincare. So, Maria 05, you asked about exam anxiety. So, oh, a blue tit just flew into my window. It's all right. Don't worry. It flew in and then it flew away again. It's probably a little bit shocked and traumatised, but I'm hoping it's all right. Anyway, I digress. So, exam anxiety. Now, it's completely natural to feel a bit anxious about an exam. Lots of people do. Not everyone does. I have to admit to you, my son and I, we were a bit weird. I really look forward to doing exams, because I used to be really excited about being able at last to show what I've been studying and what I've learned, and I love putting that knowledge out. And so one of the interesting things is that the physical symptoms that we experience when we're experiencing anxiety are very similar to the physical symptoms that we experience when we're experiencing excitement. It's just that with anxiety, we are predicting that things are going to go wrong potentially, and with excitement, we're predicting that everything's going to go right and it's going to be brilliant. So I think it's about perhaps trying to reframing it that it's an opportunity to put down the stuff that you know, and to be able to reassure yourself, speak kindly to yourself that you have worked hard, you do know what you're talking about, and you will be able to put things down on paper or on screen, no matter how your exam is monitored. Leading up to an exam, so be curious. Oh, got itchy nose. Be curious about when do you feel anxious? Is it the lead up? Is it during the exam? Something that can be really helpful is a smell anchor. So perhaps when you're studying, and if you've had a really good session of study and you've really enjoyed learning about a particular thing, then mint is a really good thing. So if you maybe got like a little drop of mint oil, like essential oil, on a hanky or a tissue, or even on your sleeve, if it's not going to don't ruin your clothes by putting oil on it. So maybe a tissue is better, so that if you smell that when you're studying and everything's going well, and then in the exam, if you smell that, then that will go straight into your brain and take you to a state of being where you're taken back to that sense of, oh, I'm doing really well here, I feel calm. So a smell anchor can be really good. Also, breath techniques can be really helpful. Tapping can be really helpful for exam anxiety, and bringing yourself to this moment, because what happens with exam anxiety, you're so busy way off in the future imagining, I'm going to fail, I'm going to be terrible, I won't know anything, my mind's going to go blank, my whole life is going to be ruined, that you end up in fight or flight. And then, as I was saying a bit earlier, your ability to think calmly and to be in flow is actually potentially diminished. So if you can work on everyday self-care, bringing your levels of stress hormones down, creating an environment of safety for yourself, regularly practicing self-care, practical techniques to bring yourself to this moment, and also breathing techniques, then when you go into the exam, and you can go in, as I was talking about the public speaking earlier on, go in with that sense of, yeah, all is well, my shoulders are back, my head is up, I can be calm, I've got my mint here, oh, all is well. And that can get your head back online so you can deliver. If you need help with study, my friend, who's also a cognitive hypnotherapist, Dr. Suzanne Fergus, she wrote this book, Study Smarter. It's really helpful. She's actually a university lecturer, but she also wrote this book to help uni students, but I think it helps everyone from GCSE onwards, you know. So if you're at secondary school, if you're at college, if you're at uni, this is well worth buying. I don't get any money. I'm not flogging this because I get cut or anything like that. It's genuinely really good, and it's got bullet points at the end of each chapter. So tips on how to study well, how to revise, and that gives you a sense of confidence as well. So I hope that helps a little bit, Maria. I hope that's all right. Yeah. And yeah, and Eileen says lavender's a great one as well. It doesn't have to be mint, you know, it can be any smell that you think, oh, this is the thing that takes me back. And anchor is almost a portal back to a state or a time where things, well, it can be to when times felt awful, but what we use them for is to take you back to a time where things felt good and you felt in flow and you felt calm. So I hope that helps. Anyway, so thank you all so much for being here. I've really enjoyed today. I'm going to wrap things up now because it's 10 to 11, the live, and it's 11 now, so I've rambled on a bit much as usual. Thank you so much for following me. Thank you for all your likes, for your very kind gifts. Thank you for your comments. They've been really interesting, and we'll write in my YouTube the areas that we've covered today. It's been so lovely to have you here. I really appreciate your support. I am not doing a live this Monday because I'm actually going to a talk, so I can't guarantee that I'm going to be back. So what I'm going to do is the next live will be a week today at 10 o'clock in the morning UK time. So my apologies for that, but I don't want to be having to think, oh, I'm not back in time, and then you're all here and I haven't, and I don't turn up. I don't want to ever do that. So that's the next one is next Friday. So what's the date next Friday? The 16th of September at 10 a.m. UK time, BST. Thank you so much, Lynn250. Thank you to all of you who've been here. I could call out lots of names, but I don't want to leave anyone out, and I'd hate that. So if you've been here, if you supported me, then I am so thank you, Trish. Cup of tea, that's a good idea. I might go and do that. I really appreciate your support. Do join again. Do have a look at my YouTube later on if you've missed bits of this and you'll be able to see more. But take care, be kind to yourself, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. I will see you in the week, but cheerio. Bless you. Cheerio, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I love seeing these comments and everyone saying goodbye. Bye-bye, Trish. Bye-bye, Sam. Bye-bye, Lynn. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, Eileen. Bye-bye, Nadine. Oh. Bye-bye, Lauren. Thank you, everyone. You take care. I'll see you soon. Have a lovely weekend. Be kind to yourselves.